welcome to another edition of the Critical Beard Podcast. I am one of your hosts, the Cardinal. This is my buddy, bro, Quirker, the Meatball. And today we got a jam-packed, juicy, dirty, nasty show for you, filled with intrigue, news, and wonderful tidbits. So let's get started with our favorite segment, and the one that we do first because it's the firstiest segment on our podcast. What you playing, Anselmo?
What you playing?
What you playing?
Still playing Final Fantasy 3. I'm just grinding right now. I'm really not enjoying it very much, to be honest.
You seem defeated.
I'm not enjoying this game. It's
you
just
look like someone talking about like a relationship they're in, that they're just like, I don't even know what we're doing anymore, man. We're just going through the motions, bro.
That's exactly what it is, because it's like Final Fantasy 1, but just like if they took Final Fantasy 1 and just added hours and hours of grinding. It's not fun. But I also picked up I know, I'm just like, can I get to Final Fantasy 4 already? But to let off some steam, I'm playing through some Metal Gear Solid 5 right now, so I love that game. I don't care what anyone says. I love
gameplay.
it.
The gameplay is great.
I love it all. I've come to terms with everything. I love it.
Classic person in a bad relationship.
It's great. I spent like an hour just like I love using cardboard boxes in that game, because like you can take out entire encampments with just the cardboard box and just like kind of like tick, and then they're like, is it a cardboard box? You just wait and you just pop them in the head and you ding. It's like cheat mode. It's like easy mode. I love it.
Oh, there's some truly magnificent stuff in that game. It's just I would like to go back and revisit it a little bit, because it's one of the weirdest games. It's got that weird like it left that same taste in my mouth that I have with kind of like The Last of Us Part 2, although I'm still higher on MGS5 than I am on The Last of Us 2. But like it's like one of those things where like I know the gameplay is like basically perfect, but like there's so much other stuff around it that I just like stinky. I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe I'll revisit it.
I had to play through it a couple times.
That game's like 1,000 hours long.
It's a super dense game. People say that it doesn't have really any story to it. I thought that too my first playthrough, but it's just super dense. Like it's instead of just Metal Gear, which is usually just like a small pond that's like a mile deep. Like Metal Gear V is like a mile long lake, but it's like, a few feet, a few feet deep. You know what I mean? It's not as deep. There's a lot of narrative content. You just kind of have to, gotta have to.
It was one of those games where when I was playing it, I was like, this is like one of the best games ever made. And then like after I beat it and like I had a couple of weeks to think about it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know why. Like I don't know what it is. I like.
You're not alone.
I know. I'm the only person that had that feeling, and I know it.
Hot take. I didn't like Metal Gear V very much.
No, it's like all the people online who are constantly like, hot take. I thought Breath of the Wild was just okay. It's like, yeah, you're not alone, idiot. Everybody, everyone says that all the time. It's like
people
the most
have opinions.
Obvious hot take ever. Like that's like the thing that people do the most is just shit on Breath of the Wild. And you're like, I get it. You're not like being like original. Like there's people who have opinions. Like it's not. Am I the only one?
Well, now I'm super original, and I'm saying that Metal Gear Solid V has a really good story, and it's really awesome. So, yeah, I'm a contrarian, or am I? If you say I am, I'm not, or I am.
See, you said you love all of that game, but you know that entails loving Revolver Ocelot and his portrayal.
Well, I mean, I don't have to like his portrayal, but I love Revolver Ocelot. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on, Snake. Let's get on up on these horses.
Get on these horses. Let's go.
Come on. I don't sound a bit like Joel from The Last of Us now, do I?
Makes you think, like, is that his real, like, was that just, like, why would he put on a fake voice with, I don't know.
I think it's Troy's from Texas. Obviously, he knows the Texas Texas
Yeah,
cowboy accent.
but Revolver Ocelot is not from. He's Russian. Well, technically, he's. Never mind. This is getting too deep. What are you playing? I'm like, well, technically.
Oh, actually, it's been 3.5 hours since we started talking about Metal Gear. So I finished up Mortal Shell, and that review should be up very soon. We're just finishing up some editing there. And I, spoiler alert, enjoyed the hell out of my time with it, even though I normally have problems with Souls-like games towards the back half. I think they get like overly hard and overly unnecessary, bogged down and all that. But yeah, check out our review. Should be up in the next couple of days. No spoilers. But I think it's pretty cool. You should look at the review. Look at my thoughts. Also, still playing Link Between Worlds and still loving it.
Yes.
Still loving the shit. I keep forgetting. It's just and it's stuff that I loved about Link to the Past. But it's because I'm like, I get the golden sword. Like, duh. Yeah. Like I got the red. Like I got the red sword. I was the red sword, and it's like it's just stuff that you did, but I don't know. And then even like I just did the thief dungeon, and that I just. Oh man, the puzzles in that game are really well designed. Like they're crazy. Like they're some of the best Zelda puzzles that I can think of because you have to warp your mind a little bit because of the wall mechanic, the painting mechanic, but it's never so obtuse that you're just like sitting there banging your head against the wall.
It's like the perfect kind of Zelda like puzzles because Zelda puzzles can be really obtuse. Zelda puzzles can we'd always talk about like Zelda puzzles. Like the quintessential Zelda puzzle is like you spend like 2 hours trying to figure it out, and then you finally figure it out, and you feel like a freaking moron, and you're like, how? Maybe if the game presented it better. But Link Between Worlds, man, like it was just like a constant flow of like, and every time this feels good.
I go into a dungeon because there's not that bogged down feeling of trying to find the weapon in the dungeon, and so they have to design it all around. It's like they're not designing the dungeon around specific items, really. They're just sort of like because you could have lost all your items, right? Because like you could die and then you lose all the shit you rented, and you may not have more money to buy those weapons. So they take that into account, and so pretty much like every boss can be beaten with pretty conventional means. Or you can kind of make up your own way to beat a boss. Like all I own are like bombs and the hook shot, and so like I'm just gonna create this weird scenario where I'm just laying bombs with it, wait till the boss gets over it and blows up, and then I attack. I don't know. But there was one problem I had with it, and I think the boss from the skull kid or the skull dungeon, it's just the giant hand from every Zelda. I fucking hated that fight. I don't know why.
I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what boss that was.
At first, it's just a hand, and he's like flying towards walls, and so you have to go into the wall.
It's the big wall master.
And the hand hits the wall, and then he gets stunned, and you kill him, and it's super easy at first. But there's like breakable places in the ground, and then he goes through a phase where he just starts smashing the ground. But he's like so close to you. You have to be so precise. And to me, like the biggest problem I've ever had with a 3DS is the joystick. If you're really trying to do precision, like movement, it's a little slippery. Like I almost feel like the 3DS joystick needs a grip.
Well, because it uses because it's not a traditional like analog stick.
No, it's weird and it's really slippery. And if you get sweaty like thumbs, like you need a grip or something. But so I was trying to do these precision things, and he'd be like knocking out the floors, and I kept falling, and then I would die. But what I didn't realize is I got all this ore for the Master Sword to upgrade it, and I wasn't upgrading it. So like I went to the blacksmith because I was like, oh yeah, wait, I have all this ore. I'm like, and I keep going to the blacksmith in the Dark World or Low Rule, and he's like, nah, your sword looks pretty cool, but I ain't gonna work on it. And I was like, what? Why? And then like I had to go to the blacksmith in Hyrule, and then he's like, oh, let me make your sword better. And then of course the bosses started becoming way easier after that. I was just like, why are these bosses kicking my ass? And I was like, oh, because I'm doing literally like half as much damage as I normally would.
Yeah, I
But anyway,
really like that game. A Switch port of that game, I think, would do it. That game's it would do it. It would do it well
and they
because I
wouldn't have
think
to do
more
much. I
people
mean, they
need
just
to.
update the resolution. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no,
Give
more
us
people need to play that. It's on a deceased platform right now, so bring
Yeah.
it. It's deceased.
Recently deceased.
Recently deceased. It has flies on it. It's
Yeah.
I love my
Not
3DS.
not quite picked clean yet. And then also I've been playing through the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, and man, that game is quality, if not hard as hell, and it makes you realize that you do not remember how to do all the cool stuff you could do back in 2000 when you were like a skateboarding cool guy and you were like, man, I know all the tricks, and it's because I would spend hours and hours and like an entire summer just playing Tony Hawk, and so by the end of it I was like kick flip and then into this trick and then into this trick, and then I get like a 20,000 point trick, and then you start it and you're like, all right, let's go, and then you bust your ass like immediately out the gate, and you're like, what the hell, like, and you're just like falling and you're like, because they were like,
I saw that it has like an interesting mechanic for getting you instantly back on your skateboard. That weird like glitch thing that you can do.
yeah. Instead of it's
super genius.
It's really cool. Yeah, instead of waiting for your guy to climb back, it just goes and like your character just glitches out, and it looks like
it's fantastic. Like that's it's just like it's just like a no duh kind of like, oh, that's like the least enjoyable part of any skateboarding game is having to like watch your guy get up, get back on his skateboard, and go.
Yeah, and personally, I think it just joins the ranks of like all the really awesome. I know, like Activision gets shit for like certain things they do, but I think they're like Crash
as a publisher,
Crash Team Racing, Spyro, and now Tony Hawk remakes, all being $40 for like full collections, and fully remade. I mean, completely remade.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, Tony Hawk is beautiful. Just like, I mean, Spyro, that game like blew my mind. It looked like you were playing a Pixar movie, and and then you can create your own skater now, and like they kind of added stuff from the older games, like stuff that worked from the newer stuff that worked.
Yeah.
And it's
releases and stuff.
It's a really fun thing. There's online. There's all kinds of shit. You can still play local multiplayer. Still play split screen, and just like tear up a court with your buddy on your couch. I don't know. It's fun. It's very nostalgic. It's like it's kind of got that Animal Crossing thing where it's just like one of those wholesome. There's no like I'm not doing anything.
Because what else?
Like
it's not like remember like the PS2 during the PS2 era, like the skateboarding genre tried to like be as super edgy as possible. Like they had like what's that guy from Jackass?
Bam Margera.
Bam Margera. And they had edgy BMX games, and like they tried to add like story and stuff to like extreme sport games. Like everyone wants to just skate. That's what people want.
And that's what it is. It's what you start at a level, and it's that genius loop of just like collect all the like the Donkey Kong. It's like collect the KONG.
Yeah.
It's like collect the the skate, right? It's collect the skate and letters, and then collect this or whatever. And if you don't get everything in one run, it saves the things that you got, and then you just go back and just keep playing. And you're just really having fun. It's not really like stressful or anything.
No, it needs a career mode.
Yeah, I want a really deep story about these skaters that I'm playing as. Yeah, whatever. And then of course, like Jack Black's an unlockable character, and
because I think he's been talking about it on his YouTube or hinting it towards.
Yeah, there was a security guard at the school, which is the second level in 1 and 2, and he's like in a little golf cart, and he's trying to like run you over in the original. And you could unlock the security guard. He's just this big fat guy. So it was funny to play as this fat security guard, in a skateboard game, because it was just like, it looked so stupid. Yeah. But now Jack Black literally did like facial scan and the voice and everything. And And yeah, he uploaded a video of himself playing it, and he is like a freaking god at Tony Hawk. Like it's crazy. He's literally like talking to the camera, and he's doing like just complete like all these like insane tricks. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? Of course, he's playing as himself, you know, which is just that dude just has the best life. Is just all it is, you know.
Yeah, I do enjoy watching his YouTube channel just because it's just him at home,
whatever
just
the hell
being
he
a
wants to
goofball.
do that week. It doesn't matter what he could be playing baseball or jumping in his swimming pool or just like farting in a fan or making a song or whatever.
Yeah, it's just like, this is awesome.
Sounds like a great week. So yeah, that's what I'm playing. Really enjoying having a good time playing video games because video games kick ass.
Video games are awesome.
Speaking of kicking ass, we want to run through real quick the direct that we got last week.
The 35th year anniversary direct.
3,500 years since Mario. Yeah, we got some announcements. We got a cool little Game & Watch guy. That was cool.
I want it. I want it.
You want it. I want it if it's free. I don't know. Like it's a cool collectible, but I don't know what. Like, there's no real utility to it. Like it has like.
What do you mean? You play Mario 1 and 2 on there? No utility. Get out of here.
Two video games.
Oh wow! Wait. You're calling Mario just again? Oh, you don't like Mario 1?
No, I actually don't like. I don't love Mario 1. I like Mario 1. I think a lot of people are like Mario 1 is the best.
Mario 1 is awesome. It's not the best.
What?
I freaking love Mario.
I love Mario 2 because it's weird as fuck.
Because it's weird.
So weird.
Whatever. Go to your Mario world, okay?
No, because it was the first game where you got to play as Toad, Peach, Luigi, and Mario, and then they like never brought that back for like forever. Like it took so long for them to ever bring that idea back around, and it was just because Doki Doki Panic, and they just changed it all around. But and it's crazy how un-Mario that game is. Like going back and like really like focusing in on just like, oh, there's nothing Mario about this fucking game. The only time you get coins is when you go into a dark version of the world and you pick up turnips.
Yeah, I love that game.
The game's eerie as shit. Actually,
it is. It's
super dark.
Kind of, yeah. It's a little unnerving.
It's very weird and terrifying. But yeah, so we're getting that Game & Watch. That's cool. We're getting the Mario All Stars came out immediately on the Switch, which is an amazing collection of. It's the first
all the
remasters.
All the originals are already on the Switch, so.
Yeah, but the All Stars versions are better.
Wow. I think this is going to be the rest of our podcast because no, the originals are better.
Wrong.
I'm sure you like Super Mario World better than Mario 3.
Well, like, don't they control the same? They just have a different graphical style, and that.
No, they don't control the same.
Or do they all control like Super Mario World? Because
they all feel different than their originals.
I guess I'm not as in tune with my 2D Mario-ness as you.
No. Yeah. Why don't you go play your Mario Sunshine? All right.
They feel the same to me. But
aesthetically, I don't really like they all look the same.
Yeah. Super Mario World is the best art style of any of the games, so it's like
Mario 3 is so. Yeah.
Mario 3 was on a stupider system though, and it looked dumber.
Everyone knows it smelled like caca.
Yeah. It may have been a good game or whatever, but it smelled like poops. So we got the All-Star collection. We got Mario 3D World coming to Switch, which is a surprise to zero people. Obviously, every Wii U game is going to eventually come. What was kind of a surprise is they're adding a DLC kind of thing. Bowser's Fury, the furry Bowser.
Is that like Bowsette?
Bowsette's Fury. I don't know. They didn't show anything other than just like a weird landscape, and then we're just like Bowser's Fury. And you're like, okay. I think we're gonna play as Bowser.
I hope.
It's my prediction.
Hope so.
Well, you play as everybody else in the main game. Yeah. I'm excited about this though because that's the only 3D Mario I've never played. It's the only Mario I've never played. It's like straight up. So
I consider it. It says 3D in the title, but I consider it more of a 2D game.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I do know like the the idea behind it is that it switches like to be sort of 2D and then kind of goes 3D a little bit and then it goes back 2D.
What do they call the 2.5?
2.5D.
That's whatever.
They call it the Shadow Complex.
I love that game.
It's stupid. It was the first time I ever heard 2.5D.
2.5D.
What does that even mean? Because you can shoot enemies in the background.
Yeah.
Metroidvania is for another episode.
Metroid Other M.
Not ever going to talk about that. Let's just keep talking about Shadow Complex if you don't mind. And Nolan North. So, anyways, then we got the Mario 35, which is going to be a battle royale Mario Tetris 99 style version of Mario 1, where you send enemies to other people's worlds and you damage them, and
which I'm guessing it's like the whole of Mario 1. Like it's just all of Mario 1, I'm guessing.
It's just and then
or if they're gonna add like custom levels.
I'm guessing the person who gets the furthest along in Mario 1 essentially like is the winner before they die. So you could potentially have some really, really good players that like just don't die, like that just keep going. I don't know how that's gonna work. It's available.
Interesting.
It's available in October until the beginning of March, which is a very strange thing to completely engineer a video game and then take it off the store. But sure, whatever, Nintendo. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, that is what they want to do.
It is.
I don't know.
We got some Pumas. What else? What am I missing? I know the final announcement, but I was saving that for last. What was
I think that was it.
Was that?
I think that was it.
No, Mario Kart.
The Mario Kart live home race.
Home live races.
Home race live.
Yes, that's exactly what it was called. So this is just an RC remote controlled car Mario track that you build in your living room. And
don't say just.
No, okay, you're right. Because it does look cool to me. I really do think it looks cool.
I think it looks super cool.
Potentially looks cool. However, I do wonder what the fidelity of the cameras that are on the RC
like
cars,
the latency on how well it controls.
Yes, how is this really going to work? I mean, I guess it could using Bluetooth and not using internet. I guess it could work better. Probably will use Bluetooth. I would imagine
it'll use Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. How many Bluetooth do you have?
A tooth.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's just a camera on the head of a remote controlled Mario Kart. You get Mario and Luigi. It's only $100.
It's that really nice.
Yeah, I've officially found out that game is the pack that comes with 2 cars and the game and whatever else comes with it. Maybe probably some at least some course cardboard pieces to go on the course or something. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool in the video too. Like they're like racing underneath a dude's dresser and stuff. Yeah. Like I don't know. That stuff's cool. Could be really cool.
Yeah, I have
it's definitely going to be cooler than Lava. So.
I definitely have a feeling people are going to come up with some really cool tracks and cool things to do with it.
As long as
Nintendo allows that, because they're so
yes,
Nintendo. But yeah,
yes, they are. As long as there's not some weird huge caveat that they didn't reveal that the cars only last you can only play them for 20 minutes and then they're dead or something
that. That is very true, because it's going to be running probably a 720 camera and also
running a camera
Bluetooth
and a car
and a car. Those are three
things.
Those are 3 things.
Count it.
So,
seniors.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, that was the one thing I was thinking of when I was watching. I was like, how long are these actually going to be alive before you have to charge them? I'm sure they're going to come with a little charger, like a USB-C charger.
Honestly, an hour seems.
Yeah, if they last an hour, it's fine.
Because I mean, who's going to sit there and who plays Mario Kart for more than an hour anyway? Lunatics.
I don't know. There's plenty of people.
Yeah, lunatics.
Yeah, lunar ticks from the moon.
Lunar Cry. Final Fantasy 8.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
a reference. So yeah, we got that, and then of course the coup de grace, the final announcement of the direct, was the thing that we kind of all knew was coming, which was Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy all coming in one collection for the Switch.
The Switch.
And it looks really cool. I think a lot of people were upset that they weren't more up-resed or more widescreen, and I
don't think that's what people are upset about.
Or they were upset that some people were like, some of these should have been remakes.
No, I think people are upset that Nintendo Yeah.
So to start off, so they are all basically just really just up-resed ports. They're not ports, they're remasters. They're definitely remasters. They've done in-depth
to me personally
with all three, and the textures, and the Mario Sunshine and Galaxy are both widescreen with up-res textures. All three have up-res textures. That means it's a remaster. It just is, right? I mean,
I don't think it's a full master. I don't think it's a proper remaster.
It's not a remake. It's just a remaster.
No, it's not a remake.
I mean, did you see this the Re-Reckoning Kingdoms of Amalur? That game, you've seen that running on systems? That game looks like trash. It looks exactly like it was pulled off of the 360. I love that game, don't get me wrong, but that remaster, the Re-Reckoning or whatever, it looks the exact same. Like, I don't know that they did anything with that game. But THQ Nordic is notoriously not good at remasters. But that's a different thing.
THQ
it is what it is. I'm excited. Mario 64 actually looks a lot better than people are giving it credit for, because if you actually put the model of like the Mario next to the model of the Mario from the actual 64 version, it's pretty considerably.
I don't know. The only thing I care about is playing it with an actual controller that's not made for 3-armed mutants.
Yes. So, playing it with a good controller is what you're saying. Because you don't want to play it with Zeus's trident.
Yes. Or the GameCube.
Poseidon's trident, I think is what I meant to say.
Trident's Poseidon. But yes, it's only available physically and digitally until March. Because Nintendo.
So now I'm over here going, like, this is the first time in a long time where I've already pre-ordered the physical edition, and I'm just going, should I buy the digital to play and keep the physical version like wrapped up?
Now, if I remember correctly, they did kind of the same thing with the Mario 25. They did like a it wasn't exactly like this for the Wii, where they did like a limited run for like X amount of months, and then after that, they like after X amount of time, then they released it in full.
I think it's a marketing thing. I don't think there's any way in hell
they've done this before. It's just they've never presented this before. They've never been like available for 5 months. They've never been so upfront about it.
They're trying a new marketing strategy. They're seeing if it will work but the thing is, here's the thing. Here's what not to try a marketing strategy on. Your biggest franchise, because you're never going to know if it sold all that because it's just Mario and everyone wanted to play them. Yeah. But that being said, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you know, they're not even completely remastered. They're blah 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 blah." And to me, I think that there's a lot of people who would get pissed off if they all were remade from the ground up, because they'd be like, "Oh, this plays just like it's just Odyssey, right? All three of them just look like Odyssey, but they're just these different levels." Like, I don't know. It just.
So I think all of the anger towards it all stems from the fact that Nintendo has never given us a reason why they took away Virtual Console.
Probably.
I think it all just stems from that, because it's like if they never took it away, then none of this would be a problem. Like everyone would be playing Mario. You know what I mean?
If you really, and you pull it down, because people are like, "Oh, it's $60," and obviously people make the comparison to, like, you know, we got the whole Spyro trilogy for $40, completely remade from the ground up, and it was, you know, $40. Whereas this, we're in $60. It's Mario, but then it's like, well, Nintendo also knows their brand,
and they know
Mario
is all you want, but people are going to buy it.
They're going to buy the shit out of it. And if you really think about it, each one of those games on Virtual Console would have been $20 anyways.
Yep.
So you're just paying $20 for each one of those games. And Mario Galaxy probably would have been more than that. It might have been like $25 or $30.
$30, yeah.
But
then
that
there's
being
people
said,
who are like, Mario Galaxy 2.
oh yeah, why is that not in here? And I'm like, well, I understand what you're saying, but this is sort of a trilogy showing each, you know,
Yes.
evolution.
Yeah. If they go down the road, you know, sometime next year, whatever, release it by itself.
Yeah, they might just throw it
That's
out there or add it on to the collection for a certain amount of money or whatever the hell. That being said, I think Mario Galaxy looks, because it's going to be an HD resolution, and it is in widescreen. That game like looks like, if it's not in low res like the Wii, it just looks like a fairly modern Mario. Like, it doesn't look that different. The game's great, but I never got to beat it because I didn't like my Wii. I didn't like the controller. I didn't like the damn Wii. I hate the Wii.
Well, the Wii loved you, so you just need to get over it.
All it would do is talk shit to me and get dirty.
Because you never played with it. Of course it got dirty.
Yeah. I played Skyward Sword and Xenoblade Chronicles and then threw it in the trash. No,
well, those are two terrible games.
They are. They're garbage. That's why I put it in the garbage. No, I'm just kidding. I love Xenoblade. But yeah, so anyways, that was what we got from the Mario Direct.
It's what everyone wanted and what no one wanted. All wrapped.
It just goes to show Nintendo fans, right? Like, we want this. Please give us this. Please give us this. For the longest time, there were the rumors were that these weren't going to be remakes. There was nothing remade about these. They were going to be basically they were going to be ports. So the fact that we even got like up-res textures, and they even did like in-depth videos, especially on Mario 64, where they showed him like walking past a wall, and they like freeze framed it and put the new one next to it, and it's like, this Boo, like the painting on this wall is up-res texture. This is an up-res shadow. This Mario, you know, all of this is like, you know, it looks better, like bar none. Like, that's it. But people are just going to be mad.
I want a total remake, and then when it happens, I'm going to be angry that they did a remake, but I want it.
Because if we got a remake, everybody would have been mad because they didn't preserve the original, and there's no way to play the original now, and the remake changed too much, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the platform is not the same. Now when I do my backward flipping caboose scoot, it doesn't register the same.
They kept the backwards caboose scoot?
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear, John.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, also, John, we do have rumors of something else. Hold on. We're going to shift gears here and head over to our correspondent live. Oh, it's just me. Speaking of Nintendo.
Oh, we were just talking about them. Continue.
We got the new Dune trailer this morning.
Nintendo.
I thought about doing a smooth transition, and I was like, we've never been about smooth transitions.
No, it's all been about awkward transitions.
Sand, it gets everywhere. Speaking of sand, yeah, I'm gonna totally shift gears on you guys. I could have gone and talked about another Nintendo thing we were gonna talk about, but no, I'm flying right back, and I'm gonna talk about something completely fucking different. So deal with it. Dune.
I want to see it now.
Yeah, I know it's not video game news. I know you guys may be like, "Wait, are you talking about Dune?
What's a Dune?
What's a Dune? What is happening?" Well, if you like Jason Momoa's and you like Javier Bardem.
No, more like if you like
Oscar Isaacs.
Do you like Lord of the Rings? Do you like Star Wars? Well, there we go.
Do you like Lord of the Rings? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like Blade Runner? It's all this.
Just smooshed it all together for you. Yeah. And there you go.
Yeah.
But yes, I love the cast. I was okay with it on paper, but seeing them all together, I was very happy with the
I had to watch the trailer again. So for one,
I watched it like 5 times.
So it has a really cool build. The trailer just builds and builds, and they do that thing where they do kind of a remixed version of a song.
The video game trailer.
The thing that Meatball absolutely loves.
I love it so much.
But they really effectively did it in this one.
Yes, it wasn't bad. It's just like I'm not exactly happy that now movies are doing it. because
we just have to accept it.
I know.
Because old trailers
it was
used the person who would be the composer of the trailer would be the person who composed the
Because
trailer.
it's supposed to
I mean, the movie.
tone. It's supposed to tell you something about the tone of the music that's going to be in the movie. Like, I'm pretty sure that remix is not going to be in the movie. So
No,
what's the point? I don't know.
But I do think it's interesting that they used a Pink Floyd song, because I think originally Homeboy who did the 1984. Why do I never remember his name?
David Lynch.
David Lynch. I believe originally he wanted Pink Floyd to do the soundtrack, and since they either weren't available or weren't able to do it or just didn't want to do it, that's when he got Toto to do it.
Which is a great soundtrack, honestly.
Oh, it's so good. No, it's
love that soundtrack.
It's honestly, parts of it do sound like Pink Floyd almost. Like,
yeah, it sounds a lot like what's their last record that they did in the late 80s or was it early 90s? The Division Bell.
Oh yeah. Oh, Division Bell. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it always reminded me of something from Division Bell. But yeah, it's very true. I don't know if that's true. If Lynch wanted to get Pink Floyd, but
yeah, I read a couple of things on it that people were saying speculating that's why they used the Pink Floyd. It was kind of like a little nod.
It was that unmade Jodorowsky Dune.
Oh, okay. So it's a different Dune.
Yeah.
So
a Dune that never got made. But that's a nice little homage.
We have the made-for-TV Dune that came out in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was
the early 2000s.
Like 2002 or 2001 or something.
And then we had the one from '84, and then there was one that didn't get made, and then there was another one that was kind of
sequel. They did a sequel miniseries on Sci-Fi as well. They did one on Children of Dune.
Yes. Okay. So that makes sense. So, for those of you who don't know, Dune is basically like Meatball said, it's Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and Blade Runner rolled into one. It's this because it to me it has the epic scope of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, but it has the subtleties and weirdness of something a little more akin to something like Blade Runner, in my opinion, which is perfect because Denis Villeneuve is directing it, who directed Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, it's always been a sci-fi Lord of the Rings to me. I don't know if you've read the book, but the book is like
I have actually read the book. Yes,
the only reason I
read
the book. Yeah, I read it like in high school. It took me like freaking forever because it's super dense, just like Lord of the Rings, and it has a glossary on the end. Like that. That's when I knew I was going to love this book because I remember I picked it up just because it was sci-fi. It had a worm on it and it had a glossary. I'm just like, it's a glossary. What kind of sci-fi book has it called? This is
Walk without rhythm as to not attract the worm. That was so cool, dude. Like there's so many cool ideas in there that have been stolen or haven't ever been stolen or just. But yeah, it's basically it kind of feels like an indie Star Wars movie or something, like because
Star Wars movies used to be indie.
Well, I guess the first one kind of was.
No, they all were up until Disney bought.
You're indie.
No.
Anna Jones.
No, but I love that fact that like technically all the Star Wars movies were independently created up until Disney bought it. I don't know. I just find that super weird. It's like, wait, the Star Wars prequels were independent movies? Yes.
Weirdly enough.
It's strange to think about, but
yeah, I guess technically. So yeah, I really, really like this trailer. I'm kind of like you said, I'm in love with the cast. I really like that. Man, it really what hit me in the nostalgia bone was when he was doing the hand in the box thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they opened with that, and then they went to the to the knife training where they had like the little those things,
the buzz suits or whatever.
Called. Yeah,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, because that's what I was thinking about when they were like
he's training with Josh Brolin
Gurney.
And,
I was wondering how they were going to visually do the vibro suit or whatever the heck.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool. I think it's Viper. I don't know. Some sci-fi. Insert sci-fi label here. I don't know.
Well, it's just like anytime you mix sci-fi with swords, it's always cool every time. It just
always. And I love it. Like
just,
the only way to like get through the suit is like a slow attack. Like it's the only way to get
like
through.
Super precision based.
Can't just.
I really like this trailer. I really liked the like I said, the cast is very intriguing to me. It's kind of like a bunch of different, like just legendary actors from all over the place. They're just kind of picking it. But yeah, I really liked. I mean, if you like Star Wars, Oscar Isaac's in this. If you like fucking Aquaman, then
like I'm
Jason
really excited
Momoa's
that I'm really excited that Oscar
Thanos.
Isaac is going to play Leo Atreides. But
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen or read or anything. But it kind of bums me out. I'm just like, oh man, I'm already bummed.
Because you don't like Oscar Isaac, or because you do?
No, because I know what's going to happen in the story.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I got
yeah. Because I'm excited to see Oscar Isaac play Leo Atreides, and I'm like, oh, I want more.
Yeah, and then you had and then we saw Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
as
playing Raban, the nephew.
He's like the bad guy, right?
Yeah, he's Harkonnen's nephew.
Yeah. He's like he's the Arrakis. He's like the native, right?
No.
Wait, I get fucking mixed up.
House Harkonnen were the big fat evil dudes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How many of you played the Sega Genesis Dune game?
Dude, the soundtrack is baller. No lies.
I'm telling you right now, that was the first RTS I ever played, and I had no idea what the hell was happening. I rented that game because it said Dune on it, and I was like, "That's the game with Sting. Is Sting in this game?" And then they were like, "Move your troops over here," and
you're like, "What?
The sandworms coming," and I was like, what do I do? Also, speaking of sandworm,
how did Sting get into that movie anyway? But yes, sandworms.
We got to look at the sandworm at the end.
I'm glad they did.
Sandworms.
Like, part of me is like glad that they showed the sandworms in the first trailer, but the other half of me is like, that would have been cool if they would have like waited,
or just never didn't show them until the like movie.
Yeah,
it would have been really cool. But
because I know the design.
They took a long time to design that sandworm.
Well,
apparently,
sure.
it took them like months and months and months just designing the sandworms. And I think Dennis was so proud of that shit. He was like, "We got to show that in the first trailer." Like,
they are really cool looking.
They are.
They
don't look derivative of anything.
Yeah, they look original. They look organic. Like they look like something that they look like a worm, but just amplified.
Yeah, and it just the maw, like when it opens its maw, and it just like has those like thousands of razor sharp teeth everywhere.
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a cool trailer because because I recognized every scene from the trailer. I recognized, and I was just like, I don't know. I never thought they'd make another Dune movie, and I'm just like, yes. The still suits look awesome.
If you take your hand out of this box,
I'm excited to see how they're going to do the. I forgot what they're called. They show them for a little bit in the 84 movie. They're like the beings that are make that fold space, like make them able to like travel through space. I don't know if you remember that.
They're what? They're
like these creatures. They've been like transformed
creatures.
by the spice.
I think you said beans.
I said straight up. I said beans.
Like a bean that they could use to travel. I was like, I don't remember a bean.
Yeah, they're like in the Lynch version. They're like these big like space fetuses that like help them fold space. And apparently, like that's like that's not what they looked at all. I don't remember what they looked like in the book, but apparently they didn't look like giant space fetuses.
Dude, like it's crazy how much it's I hate to say this to children, but like if you read a giant book like that when you're like really young, you're not gonna remember any of it.
No.
I
And
distinctly
especially a
remember
book like a book like that, man. A book
the
like that
first
is
like
super
few
dense.
chapters are super ingrained in my head, and then it's like once they like go to Arrakis and the war starts and all that, like I don't what
The
are
sleeper
you,
must
do you say Arrakis or do you say Arrakis?
Arrakis.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, so he's Ericus.
Yeah. Some people say it's wrong.
Well, they're wrong.
So I'm excited. That ever since I found out about that film, it's been my most anticipated movie of the year.
I know.
So
I've been
seeing the
kind of
trailer-
like, yeah, I've been kind of like tempered in my hype. I knew it was going to be good because, like, you know, the
Director,
director, the
actors,
cinematographer,
yeah.
the composer, the cast. I'm like, this is gonna be
Hans
good. Yeah, I'm
Zimmer.
stoked. I'm a Hans Zimmer fan, so I'm
Well, he's the
stoked with that.
perfect. I mean, who the hell else would score this movie? Come on,
Harry Gregson Williams.
Carlos Mencia, his daughter.
Uh,
Anyways, so excited about that. Then we got another little piece of news that is the. We're gonna cruise back over to Nintendo here because I wanted to trick you. Whoa, hop, skip, and a jump. Let's go.
You thought?
And just in another confusing, just random reveal, they were like,
very random.
We're getting a Hyrule Warriors 2, but they didn't call it that. Age of Calamity,
which is a
prequel.
Prequel, but they didn't call it that either.
Before Breath of the Wild, with looks presumably the engine of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Or
at least the assets.
You play the Calamity Wars, the Ganon, the big fucking war that like took out everything and turned everything into a smoldering hellscape. And gave so
it's the game everyone wanted but didn't know they wanted.
Yeah, we did no. We were just like, what the hell? And I think straight out the gate, we just saw like, you know, like old school like Link, but like, you know, with the like armor on and stuff, and then you see all the champions, Rivali and Daruk and Urbosa and Mifa.
I don't know how you remember all those names.
I don't either, because
what the hell,
dude? If I have no room in my head for useful information, but I have all the room in my head for that information.
Random Zelda NPC names.
Random NPC? You take that back, sir.
Yeah, there were random NPCs in the game.
Very important to the story.
There were like literally only like 6 NPCs in the game.
You're an NPC. There wasn't 6. I'm pretty sure there was a bunch. So, anyways,
there's like 4.
There's only 2. There was one NPC.
It was just 0.
It was just Zelda. Link wasn't even there.
It was just a floating sword.
So, and then, we just got this really bombastic, badass-looking trailer of combat, and we see like them all using their move. We see Mifa using his fucking divine beast power. We see Urbosa doing the perfect dodge, and then slowing down time. Just we saw Princess Zelda doing the time lock move.
So what? That's like six playable characters.
I think the king will be a playable character.
That would be dope.
I think that's I know I haven't heard anyone mention that, but I was just thinking, I was like, well, the king is like already this really cool old man you meet in the beginning of the game, in the beginning of Breath of the Wild. I mean, he's clearly a badass. Like, and we need to see that.
He's been able to survive all.
He's been able to live in the woods with monsters for like 100 years, like in a decrepit church. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got some skill.
Sure, he's a badass.
Also, Beetle is probably playable here. Am I right? Are we gonna get to play this Beetle? He can use it. He can use a bug net as like his main weapon. So I really don't know how goofy they're going to go with this, because the original Hyrule Warriors was very just like, it doesn't canon. It wasn't anything. It was just ridiculous.
That's what we expected with a Zelda Warriors game. That's what I expected from a Zelda Warriors game. But I'm like, now that this is going to be like a end game canon, like It's going to be more narrative driven. We already know that much. It makes me wonder how much more. We know it's going to be more narrative driven than Breath of the Wild, but how much more narrative driven is it going to be than, say, your normal Warriors game?
Well, if it's anything to go by the last Warriors game that was announced, that hasn't been announced for the US yet, I don't think, but Persona 5 Scramble, which I played the demo. I had to download a Japanese account and download the demo to that, but that played out like a sequel to Persona 5, but the combat was just Warrior style. But like you could run around in the city.
Yeah, but that wasn't a Warriors game, though.
Yes, it was. Persona 5 Scramble was a Warriors game.
Those are two different words, Cardinal. You can't. Scramble and Warriors are two different words.
It was Warriors. Yeah.
You can't just say yes. I don't. What do you mean? What do you mean? They're two different words.
I mean, use your phone to Google it. It's cool.
Come on, you can do that.
But anyway, so it is. But it's like, the combat scenarios are in these big areas, and you're fighting like tons of enemies or whatever, and it's action, punchy like combos and stuff, knocking a bunch of them in the air. But the downtime was you like running around freeform, having conversations with people, and doing confidant level stuff. And it really made me wonder if this is going to be because you see Castletown is not destroyed. It's like totally chill. So it makes me wonder if maybe like you're going to have a hub, you could like run around and like do side quest missions, or I don't even know. I don't know what they're going to do here, but they also said specifically in the trailer that they were working particularly like with Nintendo. Like, they kind of made it seem like before we just sort of made like, this fan servicey ridiculous game that was just a super arcadey crazy game. But this is like, looks like they're going to really rely on like story and polish. It seems like this might have, because if you've never played a Warriors game,
I thought Hyrule Warriors had pretty decent polish.
It did, but even then, like the Warriors games just don't have a lot of weight, I guess, or I don't know the word I'm really looking for, but they feel a little, they're not quite as polished as usually the source material that they're coming off of. There's still a lot. They're meant to just be fun, ridiculous games with like a metal version of the theme that you like or whatever. But this looks to be a whole nother thing, and I think I'm really excited for it, man. Koei Tecmo only gets better with every game. I thought Fire Emblem Warriors was super cool, and I'm not even that big of a Fire Emblem guy. I just thought it was really awesome.
I liked Dragon Quest Warriors.
Yeah, you know what? I never played it. As much as of a fan of
it was pretty cool.
I am of. Did you hear that sentence? It was good.
I was looking at your face.
I did like Dynasty Warriors back in the day when it first came out. I thought it was awesome. I really enjoyed. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm hoping for more narrative, which you're going to get, and I wonder how they're going to tie it into whatever sequel to Breath of the Wild, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, see, I think the word I was looking for maybe was like some of the Warriors games can feel a little sloppy, I guess. Like some of the level design and just like sometimes there's
they
just
never
like
they don't really have good level design.
Army is just standing there doing nothing. Like, what are you doing? What?
Yeah, that's really funny because I was talking to my nephew about Hyrule Warriors like 2 days ago. 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, before this news dropped. And yeah, we're talking about how Warriors games are fun, but they always feel like they like have potential, but they never really do anything with like the strategic wise.
Yeah, because it's like a on the ground RTS, but
which is a really cool idea.
But you can't control your troops or anything.
Yeah, like you can sort of, you can kind of, but like it's. Like the potential's there, but it's like you
could send like the commander over here, and then the commander has like an army around them. But I think we're gonna see quite an evolution of this game style, and I'm very excited to see what happens because it's Zelda and it's an actual, like you said, a canon prequel to
which they've never done anything like this before.
Breath of the Wild is the most successful Zelda ever made. So
They've never been like, hey, third party, make a prequel to the most successful of our most successful IP.
And just so everyone can hear this sentence out there that hasn't thought of it yet, Breath of the Wild is a trilogy. Just let that sink in. It is officially a trilogy now.
You know what? Like, part of me like wishes they didn't call it Hyrule Warriors though.
They're just call it like something else.
Call it something else. Because I mean, if it is going to be canon and it happens before the main game, and then we're going to have a sequel after. I mean, yeah, it's a trilogy, and the OCD consistency part of my brain is like they should all be named the same thing.
Yeah,
or at least have the same like naming structure or something.
They could have called it like the Legend of Zelda Warriors of
Legend of Zelda Warriors of Calamity or Age of Calamity. Like I would have been fine with that. But
I think maybe it's just because they wanted to keep like the idea of what the brand was, because people, if they had played Hyrule Warriors, because I loved Hyrule Warriors and had a lot of fan service, so I'm excited for whatever the hell this is.
I hope they bring not Tingle, but Linkle.
Linkle.
I loved maining Linkle. She's my favorite.
Yeah, Linkle. Wasn't it in her campaign? She's like always going the wrong way, right? She's like reading. Yeah. It's like war that way. She's like, I guess I'm going this way. A little
bit of a ditz.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Good times. So obviously we're not excited at all about Mario, Dune, or Zelda, but let's talk about something we are really excited about. We've been waiting because we don't like Nintendo.
No, we just do it for you. We just talk about it for you guys.
Yeah, we don't like Nintendo. We don't like sci-fi movies, and we don't like you at all in the audience. What we do like is waiting forever to hear about the price of next-gen consoles. Mm-hmm. And this is our final piece of news on our news report and our podcast thing today.
It's just a newsful podcast, isn't it?
This is just a big old newsy podcast full of nudes.
News. Please send news.
What did I say?
Noodles.
So we got a thing.
We did get a thing
where they said that the Xbox Series S, terrible name also.
It's super terrible.
Okay, if there's anything more confusing than the Xbox Series X, it's the Xbox Series S. So now you have the Xbox One S, the Xbox
the
One
marketing
X.
Team. Like, who's doing this?
The Teletubbies, dude. They're just a bunch of Teletubbies. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's like they only know a specific part of the keyboard. It's like, let's just keep using these letters and just rearrange them in different ways.
We got a look at the Xbox One Series S. I swear to God, I'm so glad I don't work at GameStop anymore, because I'm glad I don't have to. I don't have to say that over and over again.
I know.
People are gonna be like, I want an Xbox SX, and I'm gonna be like, oh, lady,
so much.
I'll burn you.
But they dropped the Series S is the digital only.
Yes,
and it is.
Isn't it? Yeah, they didn't have it. It doesn't have it.
It's digital only, and it's, I think, like not 1080p, but like 1444p or some ridiculously specific. But it's not 4K. But it's $300.
It's not 4K.
It's not 4K.
So it's not even. Wait, because the Xbox X that I have here is 4K. You're saying that it's not even as powerful as an Xbox One X?
Not for like resolution output. But who the hell has a 4K? Do you have a 4K TV?
Yeah, I have two.
Oh shit! Wow, you got two 4K TVs?
I mean, they're Vizios. They were cheap, but I mean, they look good.
Why?
I don't know. Watch my Mortal Shell review. I talk about how good the 4K visuals are in that game.
4K
HDR.
But
I don't know. I like my video games to look good. I'm sorry. But
I like my video games to play well. All right.
I mean, technically, PS4 Pro is not 4K, but the Xbox One X is.
Who cares?
You're saying the Series S is not.
My point is the price is pretty awesome, and it actually made me go, oh man, I might actually buy one of those.
And you're sure about this 4K thing? Because this seems a little weird.
I'm like 95% sure. I saw Carrick.
I heard it has less teraflops than the X.
Oh, okay. Well, I like my teraflops.
Nobody knows what a teraflop is.
No,
I heard.
No, Carrick tweeted something I glanced at it like an hour or two ago. I'm pretty sure, 95% sure.
So I heard it's less powerful in theory, but like because it's running a different whatever, dude. I don't play PC because I'm not a nerd. Whatever, it's running a more powerful thing, so that those lesser, gears that it's got turning, the lesser things are worth more. So say, this new one has 2 teraflops, and then the X has 4 teraflops or whatever it had. Those teraflops are worth
series,
more.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not listening. Series S will offer will offer 4K upscaling, but yeah, it's 1440p.
So it's a PlayStation Pro
in resolution. Yeah, I don't care about resolution, man.
Right? Well, it's not. This system is clearly not for you.
Obviously, what do you think?
That's extremely surprising.
Why do you think I never buy an Xbox? Because this stuff is not for me.
Well, but it's super surprising because you can get an Xbox One X that runs at full true 4K. You can play Red Dead Redemption 2 at full real 4K, and the PS4 Pro version does use a fake version of 4K. You can play real 4K on a system that already costs $300 that you probably get for less used. Or you can buy this new one that's $300 that doesn't even run stuff at true 4K. So I'm guessing it runs newer games that are going to come out better, but it just doesn't run them at the true. Yeah, that's so confusing. That's so confusing.
That's why I choose to not care. And if it's cheaper, because if it's at $300, if it plays like new stuff, because honestly, I mean, I like Sony, but I mean, nothing in their presentation was like, I need to get a Sony product.
I will say there are some games that really, really benefit from like the 4K. To me, the HDR is the high dynamic range. It's really what is most noticeable with games, especially stuff like Death Stranding. Stop rolling your goddamn eyes. There are people who actually you're in the minority when it comes to people who don't care about 4K. If they're people who are playing
TVs. Look, man.
But if you're like looking at games like Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, Mortal Shell, stuff these newer games that have this like the color. So when a lot of games, when you go into a dark room and it's just black and like you just lose like everything, when you're playing with HDR on, the blacks become super deep, but everything is detailed. So you can actually see in a super black room because the color, the range and the dynamics of the colors actually look like real life.
You're not supposed to see in a black room because it's dark.
But it looks really, really good. I'm just telling you, you can't Google it because you can't see it unless you have an HDR.
You don't have an HDR phone?
Probably. I don't know. I don't look up the specs of my phone. I just blindly pay for it, like a good American.
I forgot you're a new.
Yeah.
You're a new.
As long as it's new, and that's why I'm still gonna get
16Ks. I need 16Ks.
No, not everybody's a cool hipster like Meatball over here.
A 16K.
Oh, I'll never buy a 4K TV. I'll be playing on my Scanline screen till I'm 49.
No, I'm poor. All right.
Well, I'm poor now, but I bought this back when I had a little bit of money and we maybe got a tax return or something.
Shouldn't have bought 2 4K TVs.
I didn't buy them at the same time, jackwagon.
Yeah, right. You're like walking out.
It's just like I'm like, I'll take that 4K TV. They're like, just one. I'm like, you're right. Let's get 2.
Yeah. I hate when they do that. It always works. They're like, just one, and I'm like, dang it. They're like,
don't try to sell me a third one.
Chicken. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta. They called me chicken. I've seen Back to the Future.
So then they revealed that the Xbox Series X will be $500,
which is cheaper than last gen.
Yeah. So actually, okay, but real quick, let's just talk about how ugly the S looks. The S
It sure is
just
weird looking.
well, why did you put a big black circle on it? I don't understand. It doesn't.
I
Well, just leave it white. Like, what are you
no
doing?
man, oh, man, it doubles as a DJ hero. You just flip it, and it just like.
It's so funny because everyone was like, "Oh, I love how conventional the Xbox Series X looks," and then they're like, "Here's the S," and it's like there's a big like stupid circle in the middle. What is that? I don't.
Yeah,
even
but how many
understand.
people are actually going to buy digital only?
A lot.
Yeah, I
But
might.
$300. If the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 5 comes out. Now I know PlayStation's been playing chicken with Xbox because they know. I don't know what they have up their sleeve, but I think
Yeah,
they're
they've been
trying
waiting.
to undercut their X, the Series X. So my theory is that they're probably going to try to do 450 or 500. There's no way it's going to be
There's no way it's going to
less
be
than 450 or more than 500. It'll either be exactly the same amount. Because the Xbox clearly they were just like, okay, fine, I guess we'll release the price. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a pretty decent price point. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't really
I mean,
argue with it.
considering inflation, considering all like the newest,
Deflation.
all the newest like parts and
I'm
stuff they've had to
deflated.
put in it, like that's really cheap. I mean,
They're
like
not
compared to
making money
like,
on those. There's no way.
yeah,
they're making
right.
money
There's
on
no way
those.
there's no way like they're making a big profit.
I mean,
Like
most
you
consoles
they're
don't make
doing
a
it just to
profit.
like they're just like we got to get these out. We got to get our name out. We got to get them out. It's basically what they. It reminds me of when the 360 first dropped. Like they pushed that out so fast just to get it out before everyone else. And
Yeah.
see what happened to there.
The PS3 came out. They were like, it's only $9,000, and everyone was like, what the hell? What is it? 600, right? When it first came out,
It was like 700, man. It was a lot.
I think it was 600.
I think it was like 6,000.
900. But yeah, so and the other thing that they did announce was that EA Play will all be part of Xbox Game Pass, which is a pretty big deal, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that basically means every EA game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the new Star Wars Squadrons, day and date, are going to be free with Xbox Game Pass. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And you can't really deny the value of Game Pass. Game Pass is such an amazing value, and they really are like customer, like they're definitely going towards like their user base, and they really want to make people happy. However, the fact that they just said the thing that everyone wants to play is not going to be available until forever. Halo's delayed forever. We're all like, well, why? I don't know why to get it. Why do I buy it?
I don't know.
Because I mean, Fable, yeah, cool. Halo, cool. But when? They're like none of these have release dates now. The Halo was like the big
yeah, they don't really have they don't have any killer apps.
I mean, they have a few little things they announced at their showcases, but I mean, other than that, they don't. I mean, they don't have the stuff like Sony has. Like the Spider-Man game is coming out at launch. Then they have Ratchet and Clank is like within the month. They're saying it's like shortly after launch, Ratchet and Clank, and then Horizon Zero Dawn is coming probably at the beginning of next year. Like they have a lot of shit that's like exclusives lined up, like ready to go, and then you can just name them off. Where I can't even name an Xbox exclusive that they announced. I don't know. Avowed. That was one. Obsidian game. Yeah. I mean, we didn't see much about it, but it's Obsidian. So really, I would get, if you're going to buy one, Game Pass is a really great deal because you can play a bunch of video games for a really, really low price, and you don't have to really. That's kind of what my Xbox is right now. It's just the kind of Game Pass machine. I'm poor right now, so I don't have my.
We'll sell one of your 4K TVs.
Never. I will never do that. I will never do that. I only sell them 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Just like they did with me.
Well, you got to sell them to get the 8K TV.
I need a 10K. I want to be. I'm future proof.
I need a 10,000 inch TV.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know I kind of feel like they should have just delayed the PS5 and the Xbox. I feel like they should have just said 2020 is a wash. Let's just fucking put everything towards March. When Nintendo already showed that March can be a great time to release a console. Right. Let's just push it all towards March. Let's forget about 2020. Why are we even trying to push out consoles? Yeah, exactly.
Topical.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. At this point I'm just like, get out of here. Get out of here. I don't know. I'm usually like day one console, but like even right now I'm just
this gen I don't really care about either things right now.
Well, and also here's my thing. Really I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I loved Spider-Man on PS4, and the Miles Morales is coming out. It's only going to be $40.
$40.
But they haven't announced whether or not it's going to be cross-gen. I'm almost positive it will.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
Especially if it's a $40. It's not clearly. It's not like it's not their next-gen Spider-Man 2 or whatever. It's just like their half step. Yeah. And dude, if that's on PS4 Pro, if I can just play that on my PS4 Pro and it looks good, like I will totally just. I will, yeah. And now, if it's not, then I might think. But part of me is even thinking Ratchet and Clank is going to be on PS4. Like, I don't know. That game looks good, but it doesn't look like. I don't know. I wasn't like, oh my god. I was just like, ha.
You can jump through portals though.
Ha. I feel like they're not going to have a truly like next gen game until like Ratchet and Clank. But then again, Insomniac's first game for PS4 was Second Son, and that was like the big showcase to show like how awesome PS4 looked when it came out. It was like, check this game out.
Yeah, that's the one thing about this upcoming gen. There's no like watershed game. Like I have yet to see a game I've been like, yep, that looks like something that could only be done on an upcoming generation.
I feel like maybe when we finally see gameplay like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, they might show some pretty impressive stuff. But we're getting to that point too where we're hitting a plateau.
Yeah, with diminishing returns of quality.
It's going to be more about load times and like shadows and lighting than it is about like just straight up like OM George.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna pay like $500+ I want OM George.
You want OM George, and me too.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of where we are in the world. Everybody wants OM George, and they're giving us OM Jork, and we don't want that.
More like OM Jerk.
More like OM Get out of here.
More like OM Jedi Fallen Order.
I love that game. Can we talk about it for 30 minutes?
Sure. Is that the one with the lightsabers?
That was a jork. I got you guys. Good. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of our convo on the state of next gen consoles and the announcements we've peppered in throughout this episode, and we've gotten throughout the last 2 weeks. We did have a little bit of a boner last week where we did upload a reaction video. Yeah, well. Let's just tell you guys. So those of you who did watch the episode from last week, we recorded that the night before so we were just like that whole episode. We're just like, fucking Nintendo don't know what they're doing. What is happening at Nintendo? And then the next morning they're like, Mario everything.
They heard us.
You get a Mario. You get a Mario.
They heard
us.
Then,
they heard us. And then even more, we're like, what's happening with Zelda? And then they're like, here's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. We're like, what is happening? So yeah.
And then we recorded
re-recorded.
Yeah. We recorded a reaction to the Mario Direct, and then that didn't stick either. So yeah.
We lost the recording to the computer gods. So we even thought, we were like, should we re-record it? It's like, I can't capture that.
Yeah. It was like an hour 20 talking about freaking Mario. It's like, you know what? That's not going to happen.
We got boned pretty good. But now we know that if we want something to be announced, all we have to do is a podcast the night before bitching about how much we We want it.
Apparently, the Nintendo CEOs, they love our podcast. So
They clearly that's the only podcast they listen to.
The only podcast.
So tune in next week for the entire Metroid and Mother podcast, where we just talk about Metroid, Mother 3, and Mother 4.
Mm-hmm. That's all we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Not really. Just kidding. Got you. Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching us gab and kook and be cray cray. And if you don't like this video, then give it a thumbs down. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, babe. And if you subscribe to our channel, I'll kiss you on your face digitally, but only if you ask for it. And don't delete me. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. Also,
we respect digital consent here at Critical Beer Podcast.
Digital consent, that'd be a good band name. And if you want to uppercut the bell and hit them notifications, so every time we upload a video, your phone will go, and you'll be like, whoa, down to the bell. And then tell us what you thought about these announcements within the last 2 weeks. Nintendo, Dune, Nintendo again, and maybe Xbox. What you thinking? Are you buying an Xbox? Leave a comment down below. Check it out. We love you. Peace out. Good night. Pet a dog.
Pedo dog?
Pedo dog.
Is that like pedo bear?
No, it's not. Pedo dog. It's a dog pedophile. I don't want it.